Hey everybody, excited to be coming at you this fine Wednesday morning. Get the chat set up here. So I'm streaming to YouTube, to you guys, and then that YouTube stream is going over to the Folk Alliance International Conference. And so I'm just saying hi to them over there. I'm going to hopefully have chats happening in 2 different places if people are feeling chatty this morning. I know I'm not supposed to start until 10, but kind of want to just get this rolling. I'm going to play some tunes. I'm called Bleu. I'm from Hemlock, New York, and really happy to be here at the Folk Alliance International Unlocked Showcase. I'm going to play a lot of Clawhammer banjo tunes today, and also a lot of songs that I've written, and a few old folk songs too. So please enjoy and let me know how you're doing today. Good morning. Hey, Adriana. Thank you very much for saying that. That's kind of why I decided to start this way. In fact, that'll probably be a pretty similar tone for all of my performance today. I like to ease into the morning. At a regular folk conference, we all would have been up all night long watching these performances, going from hotel room to hotel room. Today we get to wake up in our own homes and drink a cup of joe. One called Benny Bleu, and this is a song I wrote a few years ago. A lot of times we struggle with an inability to do something when we wish we could do more. We have no choice but to find serenity in that inability. This is called the Serenity Song. You can't try to tell a tree that it's rooted in a rocky soil. Now you can't try to tell a truck it uses too much oil. But that tree is gonna grow, and that truck is gonna go, and you'll be left with all intention spoiled. You can't try to tell the wind to blow upon your sail. You can't try to catch a fish by the lip or by the tail, but your boat won't go no place, and that fish laugh in your face. You'll be left with the whales. You can't try to tell a man not to live the way he does. Like you can't try to tell a hound not to howl just because. But that dog will run away. There will come a final day. You'll be left just wishing for what was. Hey Pete, good to see you, my man. It's called the Serenity Song. Thank you very much for all the folks that are tuned in right now. Really appreciate it. Gonna do my best to talk to people in 2 different places here. Hello to all the FAI folks. So nice to be performing for you today. Anybody else over on YouTube? It's warm here in upstate New York today. Warmest we've had it in a long time. Reminds me of baseball season. Just waiting to get out on the fields. I guess that won't be for a few weeks left. Hey Dave, thanks for watching. This is one of my favorite old folk songs. It's called The Days of 49. And I learned it from my friend G. Elwyn Meixner and his band, The Wilderness Family. But Bob Dylan sang it. And I love it because it's got a cast of characters. It's got all these rough and tumble crew that the narrator used to dig gold with. And it might not be the savoriest of men, but he looks back on these times and he doesn't remember the gold. He remembers the folks he was with. I'm old Tom Moore from the Bummer Show, the good old golden days. They call me a bummer and a gin side too, but what care I for praise? I wander around from town to town, just like a rolling sign. And everyone says there goes Tom Moore in the days of 49. In the days of old, in the days of gold, how oft times I repine. In the days of old, when we dug up the gold, in the days of 49. Of all the comrades I have been, not one remains to toast. They left me here in my misery like some old wandering ghost. There's New York Jake, a butcher's boy who was fond of getting tight. Whenever Jake was on a spree, he was looking for a fight. One night he fell up against a knife in the hands of old Bob Twine. So over Jake we held awake in the days of 49. In the days of old, in the days of gold, how oft times I repine. In the days of old, when we dug up the gold, in the days of 49. There was Bill who could outroar a Buffalo Bill, you bet. He'd roar all night and he'd roar all day, I bet you he's roaring yet. One night he fell to a prospect hole poured with bad design, and in his hole roared out his soul in the days of 49. There was poor Leg Jess, a hard old man, he never paid a cent. Jess never missed a single meal and he never would repent. But poor old Jess, just like the rest, did death was his last resign. In his flume went up a plume in the days of 49. In the days of old, in the days of gold, how oft times I repine. In the days of old, when we dug up the gold, in the days of 49. Comrades I have been, not one remains to toast. They left me here in my misery like some old wandering ghost. And as I go from town to town, just like a rolling sign. And everyone says there goes Tom Moore in the days of 49. In the days of old, in the days of gold, how oft times I repine. In the days of old, when we dug up the gold, in the days of 49. Thank you. Hey, band. Thanks for watching. I love that song, too. Cheers. Well, I'm coming at you today from this awesome, I'm on the stage right now of what's used to be called a gymatorium. I'm sure most folks have been in one of these where it's a gymnasium out there. It's got a basketball court that I'm looking at. And up here is a stage where a old high school would do stage performances. And this is, in fact, an old high school. It's the old Hemlock High School in Hemlock, New York. And it's no longer a school. It's a community center, the Little Lakes Community Center. Instead of tuning 4 strings down, I probably should have just tuned 1 string up. That's okay. 3 lefts makes a right, right? Well, speaking of Hemlock, this is a song I wrote recently. I'm a geologist, and I write songs about the natural things around me all the time. This is a brand new song I've written about Hemlock Lake called Hemlock High. Hemlock High, golden hillside by the shore. Pins and needles, dandelion in my teeth, in my teeth. I can see the highest pine cone on the tree. Branches weeping, frame a shelter around me. Hanging valleys follow fractures up the stream. Broken shell rendered aged under hill, under hill. Ancient timber steep for harvest, but by the rill. Oaken roots woven through the glacial till. Roots and rivers unified and grow wide. Once the sea, now the summit finds the tide again, bounded only by the confines of my mind. I can't wait to wake the morning, Hemlock High. Wake the morning, Hemlock High. Thank you, folks. folks, for being here. That's called Hemlock High. And I'm performing from the Hemlock High School right now. If a banjo were in tune, it wouldn't sound like a banjo, wouldn't it? Hey, thanks, Pete. I released an album last year called Warm Prickly, and I got it for sale all over the place. You can find my website at bennybleu.com. It's blue spelled the French way, B-L-E-U, bennybleu.com. And this is a song off there. It's called The Porcupine. It's for anybody who's living outside. In fact, I'm wearing my Porcupine's hat right now. There's this high school in Texas, Springville, Texas, where their mascot is the Porcupines. And when I learned that, I realized I had to get a hat because I sing about porcupines all the time. Porcupines are just starting to come back around these parts in upstate New York. When all the forests were cleared for farm fields and whatnot, they had to recede up in the mountains, the Adirondack Mountains, but they're finally making their way back around here. They're very slow creatures, so be careful on the roads. They get hit more often than not when they're trying to cross a road. So look out for the porcupines. All the creatures of the wood thought their life was pretty good, but the porcupine was left without a home. Had needles in his skin, so they stayed away from him, saying porcupines are better left alone. All the creatures of the pines were content with being blind to the struggle that the porcupine endures. They didn't know his name, but they knew they felt ashamed when they found out that the needles was his fur. And I feel bad I did not lend a hand, for a porcupine is better than what we don't understand. Well, they said he broke some rules, so they kicked him out of school, and unfortunately one more bridge was burned. Not a creature lent a paw, and so they never saw what a porcupine would offer in return. Now I feel bad I did not lend a hand, for a porcupine is better than what we don't understand. So when a porcupine is going by, try to get to know him. I think that you might see, though a porcupine is different when you see the bigger picture. He's a creature just like you and me. All the creatures of the wood thought that life was pretty good, but the porcupine was left out in the cold. Had needles in his skin, don't be afraid of him. Let the story of the porcupine be told. Well, like I said, I write a lot of songs about lakes. This is another lake. It's right next to Hemlock Lake. It's a smaller lake. It's the smallest of the Finger Lakes. If anybody tuning in over on Folk Unlocked has ever heard the Finger Lakes area of New York, this is the smallest one. It's also the highest in elevation. And it's right where I grew up. Canadice Lake. And there was a time in my life where I didn't think I'd ever come back to Canadice Lake. I was living out west, and I wrote this song as sort of an homage to my homeland. And luckily, I'm back living back here. snore. But if I could dream, I know I'd be back sitting on that shore. I hear the sound of a lake. Give me more, give me more, give me all that I can take. And if I could, this whole life I would forsake if it would get me any closer to the hills of Canada's Lake. I never guessed I'd move out west and be a fish, no use for gills. But if I could swim, I'd be back in that sea of rolling hills. Instead another night as she lays in tight, I fear I never will return to where an eagle flies and a small mouth dies and a candle slowly burns. I hear the sound of a lake. Give me more, give me more, give me all that I can take. And if I could, this whole life I would forsake if it would get me any closer to the hills of Canada's Lake. Hey Bob, thanks a lot for saying that. I am a morning person. I love being up in the morning. It's when I play. Music every morning. I wake up and play when it's quiet. And so this is a very, hey, thanks a lot, Bob. Thank you for listening. And Matt, great to see you, brother. Matt Sperber, I usually sing that song with Matt Sperber, singing harmony with me, and it always feels a little naked to sing it without him. So I'm glad you were here for that, Matt. I ended the song with a tune called Old Beach Leaves, and it always makes me think of Canadice Lake, because especially this time of year, because the only deciduous trees that still have leaves on are the beach leaves. And you walk around Canadice Lake in the wintertime, you see a lot of old beach leaves for sure. A radio show host at night. Yeah, I bet you're not a morning person, Bob. We'll all drink some coffee together. This cup is my favorite mug, and it was given to my partner Sarah as a housewarming gift many years ago when she and her housemates had a house in Buffalo together, and her housemate bought a bunch of mugs at the thrift store and gave them out as housewarming gifts for each other. And I just love that story because it shows you that you don't need to put much money into making a perfect gift, and you don't know how your gift will be appreciated in the future. The important thing is just to give it. I'm going to sing a song about working right now. And speaking of work, I really want to thank all the folks at FAI who have pulled this off. Man, to do a whole folk conference online like this, I just can't imagine. And it's the sort of thing where you don't know what kind of struggles and troubleshooting and pitfalls you're going to run into until you do it. You just have to launch an online folk music festival and then see what happens and solve the problems as they come. And so I just want to thank all the folks who have made this happen. It's been a really fun week for me, sitting in and watching some of these talks and seeing the other Folk Unlocked performers at night and in the mornings. Especially to Jennifer Rowe. If you guys are watching the Folk Unlocked showcase right now, you probably know the name Jennifer Rowe because she's been sending the beautifully crafted, very helpful, never judgmental emails all month, and has really just worked harder than anybody I've ever seen. And this song is not about Jennifer Rowe, though. This song is about somebody who probably doesn't work as hard and gets sick and tired of each job they have, so they move on to the next job. But eventually they find peace digging for clams. This is called Acres of Clams. Prospecting and digging for gold. I've tunneled, hydraulic and cradled, and I have been frequently sold. And I have been frequently sold, boys. And I have been frequently sold. I've tunneled, hydraulic and cradled, and I have been frequently sold. I'm not one who gets riches by mining, perceiving that others grow poor. I've made up my mind to try farming, the only pursuit that is sure. Yeah, the only pursuit that is sure, boys. The only pursuit that is sure. I've made up my mind to try farming, the only pursuit that is sure. Now rolling a grub in my blanket, I laugh at the world and its shams, and I think of my happy condition, surrounded by acres of clams. I'm surrounded by acres of clams, boys. I'm surrounded by acres of clams, and I think of my happy condition, surrounded by acres of clams. I was rolling my grub in my blanket, I left all my tools on the ground, and I kicked up my heels gonna shake it for the land that they call Puget Sound. For the land that they call Puget Sound, boys. The land that they call Puget Sound. I kicked up my heels gonna shake it for the land that they call Puget Sound. shams. And I think of my happy condition, surrounded by acres of clams. I'm surrounded by acres of clams, boys. I'm surrounded by acres of clams. And I think of my happy condition, surrounded by acres of clams. Doesn't sound so bad, does it? To be surrounded by acres of clams. Wow, Bob, thank you for sharing that memory. That's what it's all about, the house concerts. I feel like that's the best stage, the best stage you can play on is a house concert. Hey, Alan from Syracuse, thank you. Glad you're enjoying it. I'm going to play another banjo tune right now. You ever heard the old joke? How do you tell one old-time song from the next? The name, the title, meaning that they all sound the same. Well, there's a little bit of truth to that statement. There's a lot of old-time songs that are songs that have lyrics to them, and maybe in an old-time jam, a fiddle jam, they're not going to sing the lyrics, they'll just play the melody, and those are songs. But then there are plenty of tunes that never had lyrics. They never had a discrete topic, a thing that the tune is about. It's just a tune. And you have to give it a name to distinguish it from the other tunes out there. Sometimes people reject this. If you're an old-time fiddler, you've probably learned at least a few of Jeb's tunes. Jeb Purveyor from Down to the Buffalo. He doesn't give his songs discrete names. They're all just Jeb's tune. And I think that's really cool and artistic, but if you're trying to learn tunes, it can be pretty confusing too, because, well, I know Jeb's tune. That's not Jeb's tune. No, this is a different Jeb's tune. But it's kind of cool. It's a nice little piece of old-time legendary. But typically, you give a tune a name simply to distinguish it from other tunes. Unfortunately, a lot of these old tunes that have been being played for a really long time, at some point along the way, they picked up a terrible name, some racist name that doesn't belong in our society. And I just have to say that the names are not the tunes, and the tunes can carry on as long as we give them new names. And this name has been changed a couple times. It was changed once back in the 90s. I heard the tune from Raina Gellert, one of my absolute favorite musicians. I try to play banjo like Raina Gellert plays the fiddle. And so I'd learned this tune from her, and it was called a different name. It still didn't quite sit with me quite well enough. It still had some imagery I didn't like. So I changed it once again. Yeah, Raina, for sure. Changed it once again, and I call this tune I Rock with T-Tops. A very ugly car from the 80s that I always, it's a very nostalgic car for me because it was a pretty hot car around the time that I was born and when I was a young boy. And I don't even like cars, but this car has just always been a very nostalgic car for me, as ugly as it is. I think the banjo is good enough in tune, do you? It's called I Rock with T-Tops. Thank you for listening, folks. Oh, Bob, I appreciate that. Yes, please get in touch with me. Anybody else who'd like to get in touch with me, my website is bennybleu.com. That's blue spelled the French way, bennybleu.com. Benny with 2 N's and a Y. bennybleu.com. And yeah, Bob, definitely want to talk to you. I really appreciate you tuning in today, and everybody else who has tuned in. Ronan and Charlie, thank you. Well, I got both my companions and the Brothers Blue tuned in right now. Charlie and Matthew, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to play a Brothers Blue song here. The Brothers Blue have been to a couple of NERFAs. We're East Coasters, and we had a really good time at a few NERFAs that we've gone to, called the Brothers Blue. And this is a track off our most recent album. It's called This Too Shall Pass. The spark of this song came when I was reading a quote about Buddhist philosophy, and it said that a Buddhist doesn't see the glass half full or half empty. A Buddhist sees the glass already broken and recognizes the impermanence of everything in life. So I have one little line in here that reflects that quote. It's called This Too Shall Pass. These days it seems like time is biting me. Spent all my money and I don't have a receipt. I'm worried about the future and I dwell upon the past. But if there's anything that I've learned, it's that this too shall pass. These days the clock on my wall feels like a jail. I'm handcuffed to second hand, no one to go my bail. And the days go by so slowly, yet the hours move too fast. And if there's anything that I've learned, it's that this too shall pass. Oh, time flies like an arrow, and time bends like a bow. Goes by before you blink your eye, comes back before you know. I'm savoring the moments, for the moments never last. And if there's anything that I've learned, it's that this too shall pass. Well, I don't know where I'm going, but I'll get there, yes sirree. There ain't no way of knowing, I got no lifetime guarantee. I ain't afraid of making no wrong turns or to break a little glass. And if there's anything that I've learned, it's that this too shall pass. Yeah, time flies like an arrow, time bends like a bow. Goes by before you blink your eye, comes back before you know. I'm savoring the moments, for the moments never last. And if there's anything that I've learned, it's that this too shall pass. Like a bow, goes by before you blink your eye, comes back before you know. I'm savoring the moments, for the moments never last. And if there's anything that I've learned, it's that this too shall pass. I said if there's anything that I've learned, it's that this too shall pass. Thank you for listening. Oh, I just got a message that my dog at home is digging the harmonica. She loves harmonicas and accordions. She sings along. Okay, perfect, Bob. Thank you. Thank you very much for getting in touch. Hope everyone's having a good morning out there. I've tried to ease in a little bit to a little quicker, dancier tunes. I love playing for dances. Everything I do, if you've been listening this morning, just about everything I do is all about the groove and the beat. So I love playing for dances, and I love playing for people who enjoy that as well, like tap their toe and bob their head. I'm going to sing another old folk story right now. Hey, thank you, Alan. Appreciate that. This is the story of John Henry, but it's not the song we usually hear. This is a slightly different version called "The Death of John Henry." Earliest recording I can find of it is on an Uncle Dave Macon record, and it's just got some beautiful imagery in there. The classic story of triumph, and I mean it's a pretty sad story, the story of John Henry. However, I think this song and it tries to find the story of triumph that goes along with the hardship and focus on that story. Dom Flemons was part of a great seminar earlier this week about racism in folk music, and he singled out this story as a good example of a song that does just that addresses the hardships that people have endured in this country, but celebrates the triumph aspect of it. water before I die. Cool drink of water before I die. The Death of John Henry. Well, things are about to get started over at the conference. I've got about 10 minutes left, and I think I can play all the stuff I have left to play. So I'm just going to keep playing right up to 11 o'clock. I really appreciate you all hanging out with me this morning. It's been a nice morning. This is a song I wrote when I realized that I was sort of taking for granted the people who I'm closest to, the people that I live with. And I'm sure that's been a pretty common feeling the last year of quarantine. If you're stuck at home with people, you love them more than anybody else in the world, but sometimes you also hate them more than anyone else in the world. And it's sort of a backwards feeling. It's not a true feeling. Sometimes we all just want to go climb Lonesome Hill, but it's important to come down off a Lonesome Hill when you're ready. The song's called Lonesome Hill. lonesome hill. Tell you what, I'm just going to play my last song right now. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. And I hope you're enjoying the folk conference. If you're over there at FAI, if you're over here on YouTube, I really appreciate and love you all for hanging out with me this morning. I love Cajun music, and I've been learning a lot of Cajun music. I took French in high school, but Cajun French sounds a little different. I mean, it's all the same French, but it sounds a little different. But I've been trying to get good at singing songs in French. And yesterday, actually, I wrote this song yesterday. I was walking the dog, and these French words just came into my mind, and got home and scribbled down the rest of it. It's a song in French, and I think of it as sort of a lullaby. Lullaby waltz in French. Thanks so much, everybody, for listening. I'm called Benny Bleu. You can find me at bennybleu.com. That's Bleu spelled the French way, B-L-E-U, bennybleu.com. And look out for my band, the Brothers Bleu. And hope to meet some of you guys. Thanks for everybody who's chatting over here at FAI and getting in touch. I really appreciate it. Hope to meet you and see you down the line. Have a great day. Ériger une maison et chanter les chansons et danser au sommet du monde. On peut faire un jardin et pousser les haricots et danser à la lumière de la lune. Pour comprendre comment les étoiles traversent le ciel tout au long de l'année. La vie sans conflit, il fait froid la nuit, mais le poêle, la voix nous tient au chaud. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Adriana, Alan, Bob, thank you so much for watching. And hope everybody's taking care of themselves. Hope to meet you guys someday soon. I'm called Benny Bleu, and have a great day.